As usual, inshallah, we're going to start our halaqah. We started last night speaking about the fiqh of Hajj and Umrah. So we'll resume that, inshallah. We stopped. Let me fix this one, inshallah. Yes. Technology. Yes. So we stopped last night until the Umrah. We have completed the Umrah. We spoke about the Hajj of Tamattu', the type of Hajj that you guys would do. Let me quickly summarize, inshallah. I noticed that it was a long. When you leave Nashville, for those who are going to pass London, we said that in a hotel in London, you're going to take a shower. You're going to put perfume on your body. Then you're going to put your ihram on. And you're going to pray 2 rak'ah. And you say, Labbayka Umrah. Oh Allah, here I am, responding to you and to your invitation with an Umrah. You could say Mutamatti'an al-Hajj if you want. If you don't have to. I'm trying to make it simple. For those who are not going to pass through London and will not have a hotel, I would suggest for them to do from Nashville. If you want, you could do from Qatar, maybe from Kuwait even. There is possibilities you could do, inshallah. Anyway, you have to do it before you land to Jeddah. You have to do that. Same thing, you're going to take a shower, you put some perfume, and you put your clothes of ihram on, and you pray 2 rak'ah, and you say Labbayka Umrah. Then you have fulfilled the first pillar of your Umrah. Then when you reach Jeddah, they will take you from Jeddah. While you fulfill the first pillar of Umrah, they will take you to Mecca, to your hotel. From there, you will wait your group leaders where they will take you to perform the rest of your Umrah. You will go to Tawaf. We said you're going to rotate around the Kaaba 7 times. You start from the green light and you do it rotations. You can kiss the Hajj al-Aswad, touch it, or point to it. So most likely you're not going to be able to touch it. You point to it, you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and you're going to rotate. Whenever you reach the pillar right before the Hajj al-Aswad, there are 4 pillars. You'll start the Hajj al-Aswad. The pillar right before the Hajj al-Aswad is called al-Yamani. In that pillar is encouraged to touch if you can, but I doubt it you will be able to touch it. But you will read رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. You will continue doing 7 rounds that way. In your tawaf, you can read Quran, you can make dua, you can make adhkar in any language you want, but make sure that you have wudu when you're doing your tawaf. Tawaf is the salat for haram. It's like a salat in haram. This is second pillar. So first pillar was ihram, second pillar is tawaf. The third one, you're going to fulfill it, which is sa'i. Before you go, sa'i is encouraged after you make your tawaf to pray behind maqam Ibrahim. As soon as you finish your tawaf, you're going to say, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى, and you go behind maqam Ibrahim and pray 2 rak'ah. In that 2 rak'ah is encouraged to recite Surah Al-Kafirun and Surah Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad, and you make dua as much as you can. Sometimes you will not be able to do the salah behind maqam Ibrahim, then you will do any part of the Masjid al-Haram. You pray any part you can. After that, you're tired, go drink some water of Zamzam, then go towards the sa'i. Sa'i used to be outside of the masjid, but now it's closer. They put it inside the masjid because the masjid became bigger. So you make your tawaf 7 times. You start from As-Safa. You start in As-Safa. You could say, Abda'u bima bada Allah. I will start what Allah had started with. Inna As-Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتَ أَوْ اعْتَمَرَ. You can finish that ayah. Or you could only read the first part. The first part, Inna As-Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Then you read the talbiyah, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdahu nasara abdahu wa azza jundahu wa hazama al-ahzaba wahdahu. This is sunnah, by the way. If you miss it, it's not going to mess up your tawaf. The more important is those movements, the physical things that you do. Once you do that, then you make dua facing the qibla. You are in the mountain of Safa. By the way, now it's not. There's no mountains you will see. Maybe you will see a symbolic of mountain. Now it's like a plain like this. People walking like a masjid like that. So you start from the Safa, you go to Marwa, that's one. From Marwa to Safa back, that's two. It's not two ways. You count each way as a one. And you do 7 times. There is a space that's called Al-Alam Al-Akhdar, green flag. There you see green light hitting the ground, and you'll see people rushing. In there, men are encouraged to rush and run and cross that little green area. It's like 4 lines like this. So you do your sa'i and complete your sa'i 7 times. And the only thing that you need to remember, that dua when you go to the mountain of Safa, La ilaha illallah wahdahu. If not, it should be in the book that you will be using in there, inshallah. 7 times when you complete your sa'i, now you have completed your Umrah. The only thing missing is to get out of Ihram. In order to get out of Ihram, you go and cut your hair. We said that you're going to be doing Hajj, so do not cut the entire of your hair. Make sure you shorten it. Some people there, they cut one part of the hair. That's not going to work. You have to shorten all of it. It's not a one area of your head. You'll see a lot of people, one area is shaved and they're walking. They thinking this is a way to get around it. Now either you shorten it entirely or you shave it if you're expecting it will come out, but just shorten it and then you are free. Then you will spend 5-6 days in Mecca. After that, when you come back to your hotel, take any clothes that you want, the best of your clothes, regular clothes, and you're done with your Umrah. The next 6 days is just go back to the masjid and pray in Masjid al-Haram. Try to be there at latest as Asr and stay all night. That's what I would suggest for you. Why? Because during the night it's slower, everything is not crazy, there's no sun, you could enjoy it there during the night, and this is the best time to make ibadah, inshallah. So this is a summary of Al-Umrah. Any question of your Umrah? Yes, you will dress normal. You can use perfume. If your wife is with you, you can sleep with her. You could do anything that you can do in the regular time. You're halal, you're free. مقام إبراهيم ها في كثير من الأوقات فيه الآن at the time of Hajj is a little difficult. Sometimes you don't find it. Try to find it, you can, but you will see everybody finished off trying to pray there. Try to find it. You might find it, most likely you can, but there is a small percentage, I could say 20% is very crowded, then you can't. Behind maqam, any place behind the maqam. It could be very far. It doesn't have to be right behind it. You have to face the Kaaba only. You have to face the Kaaba and you be behind the maqam Ibrahim. So you can pray as far as you can. As long as you're behind maqam Ibrahim, you're fine. Maqam, yes. The maqam has to be between you and the Kaaba. Yes. In London, huh? After you fully complete your ihram, then there are things will be haram for you. So if you violate before the location of Jeddah, then you have to renew it. That's all what you have to do it. So you wear a jacket, still you are beyond the miqat, then you will have just to renew it when you reach the miqat. When you reach the miqat. No, you could do any distance before the miqat. You could do it. First, ihram you can make any place before the miqat. It's al-afdal on miqat. It's better on miqat. But since they're going to be on the air, anything could happen. They might sleep over in the airplane or things. Then, you know what you could, when you reach the miqat, what you could wear your jackets for you, but you have to renew it. You have nullified your ihram. Once you wear clothing and all of that, you have nullified. You have to renew it. You have to renew it. So I'm trying to be more practical with you guys. The best way would do in the airplane. Doing the airplane, they will announce it, and it's very obvious unless you sleep over. But the permissibility is permissible to do the ihram any place before your miqat. Sunnah, yes, it's sunnah to take a shower. Those are sunnahs. Yes. Yes, you can't do. That's why people do before they get to that airplane. So that they won't, yeah. So you're going straight to Jeddah from London to Jeddah? Are you going to pass any other country? No. Then the best realistic is through your, inshallah. In the airplane there's no cold. I had it my thing. I don't know, in London it could. I don't know, that small time. But by the way, the ihram clothes very strong. Probably you can go without it. You cannot wear any clothes that has, you're putting it is considered wearing it. So you shouldn't wear it. If you wear it, know that you have nullified your ihram. And as long as you are before the miqat, you are good. Just renew it with the conditions of ihram on miqat place. Maybe 15 minutes before the air goes down. I didn't even start my new part yet. Did I? You know, you have to, when you go do it, it's better to be on the safest way you can, the safest way. If you wear it, some they say, no, as long as you didn't put it. They talk about like, if you get a cold in مثلا in Muzdalifah, sometimes it gets cold. Can you cover yourself with something that is sewed? Some scholars they say if you cover yourself with those clothes, even it's cold, then you must pay a dam. Must pay a dam. So it's debatable, gray areas. It's better to play clean as much as you can. Yeah. Bismillah. So what happened to me, for example, I reached Jeddah at night. I couldn't perform Umrah. I had to sleep, so I have to keep my clothes on. Because I wasn't out of Ihram. I was in Ihram. I waited the next day. The next day I made my tawaf and sa'i, then I was complete. So it's okay to sleep with your clothes. You don't have to do your Umrah right away when you arrive. You could relax as long as you are on Ihram, and as long as you don't violate your Ihram, you're good. Yes, you don't cover your head. You're not allowed to cover your head. Sometimes accidentally you will do anything accidentally, it's not going to count against you. Intentional things are what counts against you. So sometimes you may need to spend one night before you do your Umrah. If you arrive late, or if maybe your groups are not ready together, yeah, you wear your clothes, keep your Ihram clothes on. Yes, you cannot wear any other clothes. You must sleep. Yes. Okay, now we're ready to start our Hajj, the fiqh of al-Hajj. After you complete your Umrah, there will be 5 days you will stay. After 5 days, then there will be a time for Hajj. Hajj starts on the 8th day of the Hijjah. It's called Yawm al-Tawriyah. So let's talk about Hajj in a short. First, there's the conditions for a Haji. Every person who's making Hajj has to fulfill. Number one, he has to be a Muslim. Number two, the person has to be a sane, aqil. Number three, has to be a person who reached the age of puberty. Number four, has to be able, has to have the ability to do the Hajj, which is ability, financial ability, physical ability, and all types of ability. Number five, the person has to have his own will. You have to do the Hajj with your will. If you're forced your Hajj and you do those actions, it will not be valid for you. As for the sisters, there's one more condition they have to fill. A mahram has to be with them. Without mahram, their Hajj, wa alaikum assalam, welcome back. We'll miss your questions, inshallah. So for the mar'ah, they have to have a mahram with them. These are the conditions. What some of the masail is like a child, if he makes a Hajj, that Hajj will be a sunnah for him. It will not be a mandatory, it will not cover him. Then once he grow up, he have to do the Hajjat al-Islam, even though he had performed Hajj in a young age. So puberty is a condition. A person, and another mas'ala is that someone who had some money but died without performing the Hajj, then the scholars, they say some of his money has to be put aside and somebody else has to perform Hajj on his behalf, if he was able to do. But if he died and he didn't have the ability and it was not mandatory upon him to perform Hajj, then there's nothing upon him. But if he was able, but because of shortcoming from his side, then he has to redo it. Also, you can't do Hajj on behalf of someone unless you have done your Hajj. So if this is your first Hajj, you can't do on behalf of someone else. First, you have to make sure that you have performed your own Hajj before you do somebody's Hajj. Now, let's come to the arkan, the pillars. These things would make us easy to understand. And later on, it will make it easy for you. You're always going to count your arkan, the pillars. Did I do my pillars? The pillars of Umrah is Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i. Did I perform these? Then you're good to go. The others, if you don't, some of them are sunnah, some of them, if you do it, you can fix it up. But if you mix a pillar, then your entire Umrah or Hajj will be invalid, will not be valid. So the pillars of Hajj is number one, al-Ihram. They share the three ones. The first three, they share. The first one, you have to do Ihram again for your Hajj. Number two, you have to do Tawaf for your Hajj. Number three, you have to do Sa'i for your Hajj. Number four is Wuquf bi Arafah, to stand up in Arafah. So these are the four pillars of your Hajj. If you miss one of it, for example, you did not stand up in Arafah, the day of Arafah you were wandering around, you were standing somewhere outside of the boundary of Arafah, then your entire Hajj is not valid. So a pillar cannot be missed in Hajj. There are something called wajibat, a mandatory thing, something that you cannot intentionally miss, but if you miss it, there is a ways to cover it. Rukn, if you miss it, you cannot cover it. Like if you missed Arafat, there is no way, even if you give a blood or anything else will not suffice you. So the pillars are the main things. Number one, the wajibat is al-ihram min al-miqat, to start from the miqat, from the points of start. This time when you are in Mecca, your miqat will be from your hotel anyway. Number two, to stand up in Arafah until the sunset on the day of Arafah, the 9th of the Hajj, we'll speak about inshallah. To stand that day until the sunset is also wajib, a mandatory. To sleep in Laylat al-Nahr in Muzdalifah, a place called Muzdalifah, until the midnight is a mandatory act. To sleep in Mina the nights of Tashriq is mandatory act. To do the Jamarat, to stone the pillars in order is a mandatory act. To shave or cut your hair, for example, you did Hajj and everything and you forgot to do your hair, you didn't shave nor cut it, you just came back when you come to America, you remembered that you didn't cut your hair, then this is a mandatory act. But if you miss it, there is a way to fix it. You have to give a dam. You have to slaughter one sheep and give it to the people who are in need. Tawaf al-Wada', the final tawaf, the farewell tawaf, is also a mandatory act. These are the mandatory acts. So anybody misses a pillar, his Hajj or Umrah will not be valid. Anybody who misses wajibat, then he has to give a dam to the people of Mecca and the poor people in Mecca. And whoever misses a sunnah act, then nothing is upon him. Like a sunnah act is like what? In Umrah, sunnah act is like to go to the mountain of Safa and recite Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah, to recite La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. Sunnah act in Tawaf is like to recite Rabbana atina fi dunya hasana in the pillar. Those are sunnahs. Those, if you miss it, nothing is upon you. It's just a voluntarily thing that you're doing. So now we will start our Hajj. So all we're going to do is we're going to take day by day. We're going to call it Yawmiyat al-Hajj. We're going to start first day. What are you supposed to do? I'm going to mention what is sunnah, what's mandatory. And also, after I finish the day, I will speak about some of the violations, some of the mistakes that people do on that day, so you know to avoid those mistakes. So 6 days of Hajj. 8th day, starting from Yawm al-Tawriyah, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th is when your Hajj will be finished. So 6 days of your Hajj. Some people can shorten it to 5 days, and I will mention inshallah. So first day is called Yawm al-Tawriyah, the day of 8th of Dhul Hijjah. The person, you're in a hotel on that day, your group will prepare you to take you to the Hajj seasons. They will take you to Mina. So in the morning before the duha, it's sunnah, you have to be in a state of ihram. So you start your wajibat. The sunnah part is, in this sunnah part is just to take a shower, and those are sunnah, and the 2 rak'ah is sunnah. But to be in a state of ihram is mandatory. So in the morning of 8th, the first day of your Hajj, you will take a shower, same thing you have done in Umrah. You will take a shower in your hotel in Mecca, you will put perfume on your body, you put the ihram clothes, you pray 2 rak'ah after that, and you say labbaika hajjan. Oh Allah, here I am responding to you with Hajj, and you have fulfilled the first rukn of your Hajj. So you will start saying labbaika hajjan. You don't have to literally say labbaika hajjan, but it's sunnah to say labbaika hajjan. Then after that, it's encouraged to start the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, all the time, and to keep reading until the 10th day of Dhul Hijjah. 8th, 9th, 10th, these 3 days until you do you stone your jamarat. It's sunnah to keep repeating the talbiyah. And you will see people repeating labbaik Allahumma labbaik in every area, in every gather. People will remind you. So read as much as you can to the talbiyah. So the people, your group will take you to Mina after that. The sunnah is to leave the duha time. The sunnah, they will take you to a Mina, a tent in Mina. You will stay in Mina and pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Fajr in there. Every salat you will shorten it. You pray 2 rak'ah and short ones, and you will stay in the tents for that day. The Prophet ﷺ did not pray no sunnah in Mina, in Safar in general, except the witr. So the salah that is encouraged, since you're musafir and you're in Mina, is only the witr prayer that you pray after Isha. What do you do that day? They will put you in a tent, comfortable tent. Probably people will be closer to you, but other than that, there is ACs, there's water, there is coffee, there is tea, there is all. You are going to be in a luxury. This is the best time you're going to have everything. So you're going to stay in those tents with a group like this. In the tent, what are you supposed to do on that day? That day is the day of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should read as many adhkar as you can, as Quran as you can, as many du'as as you can in your tent, and worship on that day entirely. So this is the first day of your Hajj. I will recap, I will repeat so people will remember. First day of your Hajj, you put yourself in a state of haram by taking a shower, putting perfume on your body, putting the clothes on, your ihram clothes on. Then you will be taken to Mina, and in Mina you will spend all day. And once you pray your salat short to 2 rak'ah with the jama'ah, with the group, the leader. So you'll spend there. What they do usually, they bring some speakers sometimes, but at the end is the day that you will spend in worship. Read the Quran, make dua in any language that you can. Spend that day in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and drink as many water as you can, because you're going to go next day sunny. You have to maybe you will be outside a lot in the next day. So this is first day of your Hajj. Some of the mistakes that people do is that to follow what people do. Some people, they have cultural things that they do. Some people, they read some things, strange things that was not in the Sunnah. So make sure that on that day, what you do, ask the person who's in charge of your group, who has a knowledgeable, the shaykh, whatever you do, make sure that is something that right you do. Don't follow anything. Some people, they follow anybody what he does and they keep doing it. Allah says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people who know if you do not know. One of the mistakes that people do on this day is iltibah. They open their right shoulder. It's not legislated. When are you going to open your right shoulder? When did I say yesterday? Umrah, the first tawaf only. So you shouldn't open your right shoulder, because your right shoulder is encouraged on there. Some of the mistakes they do, women wear uniform. They wear, some of them green clothes, specific clothes is not encouraged. There's no sunnah. A woman would wear any type of clothes that they have. They don't have to wear a specific color or specific portion of a cloth. You wear any clothes that you can. Some of the mistakes that people do on this day, one of the mistakes is that people, they leave the Mina. They will not spend the day in there. By the way, this is spending in Mina is one of the sunan. You don't have to. Your Hajj, you can start entirely from the 9th. But if you want to do the right things, then spend that day in Mina until the end of the day. And so make sure that what you read, try to understand, try to get some of the translations of the Quran, to read the Quran and you understand what you are reading. That's the first day, and these are some of the violations of the people do on that day. The second day of Hajj is the most important day of Hajj. It's called Day of Arafah. It's the 9th of the Hijjah. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Al-Hajju Arafah. The Hajj entirely is the day of Arafah. So 8th day you are in Mina. So you would leave after the Fajr in Mina. When the sun is rising, it's sunnah people to leave. So your group will tell you when to leave. They will tell you, get ready. You're going to get ready. You leave your tent. You leave your tent and you will go to Arafah. While you're reading the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. And it's good to read Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. In your car, in the bus that they will take you. On that day, some people fast. It's not sunnah to fast. The Prophet ﷺ did not fast that day, and it was reported that he drank milk on that day. It's a sunnah after you leave the Mina when the sun is raised to stop by a masjid called Masjid al-Nimr. Masjid al-Nimr is the masjid where the Prophet ﷺ made his farewell sermon, khutbatul wada'. Okay, let me finish the day, inshallah, I'm going to take it. So it's sunnah to stop by there. If I wasn't able to do a small masjid, sometimes 3 million people cannot fit in a small masjid. So some people will get the opportunity to stop by there. Anyways, it's sunnah. So your group will decide whether to take your nimr or not. So if you don't get it, it's not a big deal. So people would have khutbah in there, and they will pray dhuhr and asr in early time, at the dhuhr time, and each one they will pray 2 rak'ah. Then after that, people, after they pray dhuhr, khutbah is right before dhuhr and asr in an early time, then they will go towards the Arafah. There are tents in the Arafah plain. They will assign you in a tent, and you will stay in your tent like a tent of Mina. So the tent, the mountain of Arafat where the Prophet ﷺ stood up is not the tent. I don't know, are you guys going to take them to the mountain of Arafat? Okay. So you don't, as long as you are in the boundary of Arafat, you are good. You're good to go. But if you decide, you could go, and I went with a group who knew where was the mountain of Arafat, and we went. It's sunnah to go there and make dua in the mountain of Arafah. You don't have to climb the mountain. It's not part of the Prophet did not climb the mountain. When you go there, people are on the, like insects on the mountain is filled by the people. It's not sunnah to climb the mountain. The sunnah is to stand up below the mountain and make dua facing the Qibla. And the best dua on that day, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, خَيْرُ الدُّعَاءِ دُعَاءُ يَوْمِ عَرَفَةٍ. The best of all dua is dua you make on this day of the Arafah. The best I said is لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Then you do the talbiyah, and it's good to say إنما الخير خير الآخرة. Whenever you finish a talbiyah, say all khair, all the goodness is the goodness of hereafter. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Allah says akhirah is better and is more lasting. So it's sunnah to repeat those statements. Sunnah to read as many salawat upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You will stay until the sun sets. It is against the sunnah to leave. If you leave before sunset, you missed a wajib, one of the pillars of al-Islam. Not al-Islam, of Hajj, one of the pillars of the Hajj. On that day is a special, they make dua a lot because so much rahmat of Allah would descend. The Prophet ﷺ said, ما رؤي الشيطان يوما فيه أصغر ولا أدحر ولا أحقر ولا أغيض من يوم عرفة. It was not seen a shaitan a day that he was so small, so humiliated, so cursed, so upset than the day of Arafah, because of the mercy of Allah that descends on that day. And so because Allah forgives major sins on that day, especially the people of Arafah, so take advantage of that. Be careful with the people who would talk to you, who will try. You will see people even backbiting in the day of Arafah. SubhanAllah, I've seen it in my tent. So be careful. Be careful with the people who are around you. So this day is a special day where Allah had completed His deen. Allah has perfected Islam and had chosen Islam for us. After sunset, after I finish the day, I will recap it, inshallah. After the sunset on that day, then you will move towards a plain called Muzdalifah, and you will go to Muzdalifah. It's sunnah to walk slowly, not to rush. So be sakin, a state of sakin. ثُمَّ أَفِيضُ مِنْ حَيْثُ وَفَاضَ النَّاسِ. Allah says, وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهِ. When you come back from Arafat, go slowly and then say istighfar. Istighfar on that day. Then you will reach Muzdalifah at night. At the sunset, you have just left the Arafat. You pray Maghrib and Isha together and short. At the Jam'u Ta'khir later on, you will delay it until Isha time. After that, you don't pray anything except witr if you want to pray. If you, for some reason, you can't reach the Muzdalifah before the midnight, it's sunnah to pray wherever you're at so that you don't miss the salat on time. On that night, people would spend in Muzdalifah and people would sleep in Muzdalifah. You'll make as many dhikr as you can in Muzdalifah, and that day, that time is a time of relaxation. Let me recap now. The second day of Hajj, in the morning at the Salat al-Fajr, when the sun rises, you would leave Mina. You will go towards the Arafat. They will give you tents. In the middle, they might stop by the Masjid al-Nimr. You guys do that? Okay. So usually they want. My group did not stop by. So if you are able, then you will pray Dhuhr and Asr in there, in that masjid, before you reach your tent. By the way, so crowded. Some of my groups went there, they said it was very uncomfortable. So you come to the tent and you stay in your tent on that day. This is the day of Arafah day. You make dua. The day you have to spend on worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make du'as. If you can go to the mountain of Arafah, go to the mountain of Arafah and do not climb it. It's against the sunnah to climb it. Face the Qibla, and you will see in the mountain of Arafah everyone around you crying, making du'as, especially when you're close to sunset. So go afternoon when the sun cools down if you can and make dua. Make sure you don't get lost. A lot of people get lost on that day. Make sure that if you're going to leave your tent to Arafah, you know how to get back to your tent. If you do not know, you could be in trouble. Or make sure that someone is taking you there is somebody who really knows to bring you back. And I forgot this to tell you that whenever you're in a tent, every tent, for example in Mina, write down the number, not in your phone even, write down in a physical, in a paper, or memorize it in a paper and keep it with you. In case if you get lost, you show anybody, they could take you back to your tent. If you do not have a tent, there are thousands and thousands of tents you will not be able to find back. You will get lost. Always keep the numbers of your people. Know that the tent and number, when you go to Arafat, know the number of your tents. Everywhere, memorize. When you go to a place, memorize, inshallah. So on that day, until the sunrise, you will spend in Arafat and worship Allah, make dua as many as you can. Then after the sunset, you will move towards Muzdalifah, a plain that you're supposed to be sleeping, and you will reach Muzdalifah usually midnight, and you pray Maghrib and Isha together at later time. You combine them at the Isha time and maybe sometime before the midnight, and you pray and you will sleep. This is when you're going to need your tent. That is an empty space, rocks, very uncomfortable by the way. It's rock, there is nothing, there is no tent whatsoever. It's rocks, it's the most uncomfortable place you will be. That's why you need to have your sleeping bag with you. Buy it on the 8th day, the first day of your Hajj. Before they tell you tomorrow we'll start the Hajj, look for a small sleeping bag, inshallah. And you'll sleep the night in Muzdalifah, and in Muzdalifah all night. Some of the mistakes that people do on the day of Arafah, I'll mention inshallah, then I'll take questions inshallah. Some of the mistakes that people do, some people, they will stand up outside of Arafah They will just choose anywhere. They will stand thinking this is the hudud of Arafah. Make sure that ask your groups. If you're a group, they will know where are the boundaries of the Arafah. Make sure that you are in Arafah. If not, then you have even nullified your Hajj. You know, if you don't stand up in Arafah, you don't have an Hajj at all. Other mistake that people do, some people fast on that day. You don't need to fast. You need to be stronger to make dua and worship on that day. Also, some people force themselves to go to Jabal al-Rahmah, the mountain of Arafah, al-Rahmah, and to climb it. This is not part of your Hajj. If there's way that you can go without difficulties, do so. If not, again, this is not a mandatory thing that you have to do. On that day, people already made friendship in Mina. Now they know each other better. On this day, a lot of people get distracted, and they talk, and they laugh, and they joke, and they waste their time. Some even do farther than that, started talking politics in there. Some people don't have nothing else to do, so they will start talking about Houthi and Yemen or Kida. You don't have the time for that. You're not there for that. So make sure that you know what you are there and you focus on there. Some people are busy on that day, the day of Arafah, taking pictures and videos. It's okay to take some remembrance for yourself, but make sure that's not also the goal. Also, when people leave the Arafat, people chase each other, fast speed. That day, Prophet said, as-sakina, as-sakina. You have to come back from the mountain Arafah, walk slower, and have tranquility on you. Do not push the people. If you have space to move faster, you can, but not to crowd and push the people. One of the mistakes that people do when they come to the Muzdalifah, they don't look for the Qibla. They pray anywhere they want to. They're so exhausted and tired, they pray to anywhere that they want to pray. Also, you can't miss sleeping the Muzdalifah because it's one of the mandatory acts of your Hajj. So make sure that you sleep in the Muzdalifah and you do not miss until the Fajr, then when you're going to leave, inshallah. Any question of the second day? First day was Mina. Second day is Arafah. The second day night, you will end up in Muzdalifah and you sleep in Muzdalifah. By the way, even though the place is not comfortable, you're so tired, you will sleep maybe one of your best sleep. But a lot of people get cough and got sick from there because the floor is nothing. There's nothing. It's dust. So they sleep and they're so tired, so the dust will get into their faces. Make sure that you have a comfortable sleeping bag so that those dust will not get into you. Those dust will not get into your mouth and into your nose. And this is where many people get sick from. The third day of Hajj is the Yawm al-Eid, the day of An-Nahr. People are making their Eids in other parts of the world. So Salat al-Fajr, you have to pray in Muzdalifah. Except if you are old or weak, then you can leave the midnight. But regularly the people would pray Salat al-Fajr in there. After that, you make takbir, you make tahleel, you make dua until the sun is raised. After the sun is raised, and then right before, when the light comes out, then you go towards Mina. You go back to your tent. You have your stops already there. You make a tour of Arafat, Muzdalifah. Now you're going back to your tent in Mina. You go slowly. And your way to Mina, you grab some pebbles, some stones to stone later when you're going to stone the Jamarat. So collect, it's not necessary. If you want, you can collect your stones even from the Mina. So if you don't want to, some people, they collect all their stones from the Muzdalifah and carry themselves. Not necessary, but collect some of it if you want. If not, then just go towards the Mina. When you go back to your tent in Mina that day, right after you complete your Mina, then people would go towards, this is the day of Eid, towards the Jamarat. So you go Mina, then from Mina you will go to Jamarat where you stone the pebbles, and your group will take you, inshallah, to Jamarat. So this day, the morning, I'm going to speak about, inshallah, the Jamarat. So this day is Muzdalifah. You have passed the Muzdalifah, and now you reached the Mina. You came back to Mina, and that day is where your day of your third day will start. Your third day of first day was Mina, the second day was Arafat. This is the third day that you prayed Fajr in Muzdalifah, and now you are in Mina back, and you're trying to start your Jamarat. So this is an important day, the third day of Hajj. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as many as you can, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as you can, and spend in an act of worship as many as you can. It looks like I mixed up my notes together. Let me try to get it out. Okay, on third day when you reach the Mina, then you have to go and throw your Jamarat. It depends schedule. I think they do schedule now, or you can go anytime. Is there a schedule? So your group will tell you what time is your schedule to go. So once your schedule goes, you go and do the Jamarat, and you throw the 3 Jamra, Al-Sughra, Al-Wusta, Al-Aqaba, and you throw that. Your group will take you there and will show you. After you throw each one, then you make dua and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, whatever you want. Then you go to the next and you throw it, and then you go to the third one, you throw it, and you go right away. So the first one, as you go, you move forward. These are the Jamarat, 1, 2, 3. So you throw first one, stone it 7 times, you say Allahu Akbar each one, and then you move to the next one. Between them, you stand up and make dua as you can to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you go to the next one and you throw your Jamarat, and then you move to the third one. You're gonna move to the third one and throw it, you go away and finish it. You say Allah and Bismillahi, Allahu Akbar whenever you throw. On that day, you're supposed to give your hadi. After that, you're supposed to slaughter your hadi. So you have to consider that your animal was slaughtered. So people, you don't have to go and get an animal. The government will take care of it. All the Hujjaj, they only have to pay money, and the government will take care of it. So you will assume that your hadi was being done. Your hadi was being done. So that day, there's 4 things to do. You come to the Mina, first Jamarat. You come and throw your Jamarat. The second thing is hadi. The third one is then you go to Tawaf. It's called Tawaf al-Ifada. Then you go to the Sa'i. You go to Sa'i. So if you do this 4, you don't have to be in order, by the way. You could do any order you want, but usually they do this order. So once you do your Jamarat and you consider your hadi, you have already sacrificed, you have done 2 out of your 4, and then you have done the first ihram, half of your ihram. Then you can cut your hair. You can cut your hair, and everything that was haram for you is halal, except sleeping with your wife. Then usually on that day is when they're going to do the Tawaf al-Ifada. After the Jamarat they will do, they will go back to Mina. You guys, when are you going to do the Tawaf the third day? Okay. The second day you will do it. This is very smart idea. The Sunnah, by the way, the Prophet did on that day Ifada and went Sa'i and completed all 4. So if you can, you should do it. But you'll be really, hard, exhausted. I was never tired like that day. I decided multiple times to quit, that I can't do it anymore. You are very tired. And I walked starting from the Muzdalifah to Mina, from Mina to Jamarat, to the Masjid al-Haram. I was very tired. Couldn't even, my feet watered. It was full. I was walking like that. And I had to do tawaf, and I forced myself. By the way, if you can do on that day, go to the Masjid al-Haram after the Jamarat. Just go forth to Masjid al-Haram and do your tawaf. It's called Tawaf al-Ifada. And then go to Sa'i. You will do the same as tawaf as Umrah, by the way. There's nothing. Then you go and do your Sa'i. Then you are free. You can sleep with your wife. By the way, after you do 2 of them, you can change your clothes. You have in the minor ihram, you get out of the minor ihram. But if you want full ihram, to get out fully on ihram, that even you can sleep with your wife and do whatever you want to do, then you have to do all 4. But this group, they're smarter. They will only make you do the 2 first, and the second day, there will be days after that. Inshallah, I'm going to mention days. When you come back to Jamarat, then you're not that much tired, then you go. By the way, you don't have even to do the second day. If I go again to Hajj, this is what I'm going to do. If I do the Jamarat and I assume my hadi was done, I will come back to my tent and I will wait even 3-4 days until I go back to Mecca, to my hotel. Then I will do my tawaf and sa'i with no problems. Yeah, that's easier. Otherwise, It's very difficult. You think you're strong. If you walk on that day, if you decide to do all four together, your feet will be watered. And I reached my tent back at Fajr time. I left my tent of Mina to Jamarat. I left at Asr time. I was walking from Asr time. By the way, remember, morning I was walking from Muzdalifah. You guys gonna have a buses, right? Muzdalifah to Mina. Muzdalifah to Mina, I walked and I got lost and I was looking for my grandma. So I was walking all morning. Then when I reached Mina at Asr time, then I had to go to Jamarat. I walked all the way and I was walking, do tawaf sa'i. I came back to my Mina the next Fajr. Almost I was walking 20 hours, you know. I was so exhausted. I have never seen. If I could quit, I could quit, but there's no way you can quit. You're gonna sit in the middle, it's hot. There's no way you can quit. If there is a way I could quit and I could come back next week, I would do it because I was so exhausted. So make sure that you don't exhaust yourself. The father.
He came back the next night after about 2.
It happens. So yeah. That's what happens. Everybody comes back to Mina. Who does that? He can't even talk. Very tired. Yeah. 18 hours of walk. Saeed, do you think you can walk? Yeah. I would suggest for you, for the wives would be a real problem. So I would suggest for you follow the leads. When you do Jamrat, just come back to your Mina. Yeah. They will take you second or third day. But even if you want, you can be more smarter. You don't have to go even the second day with them. Wait until you go back to Mecca. And then your hotel, you can walk to Haram 7 minutes. But make sure the only thing is haram from you is to sleep with your wife. Don't mess up that in there. Other than that, you don't have to go on the day of Eid that day to do these things. If you decide to do, you will pay the price. Yeah. It's doable, but it's difficult. It's doable, but difficult. Yeah. It's crowded now. It shuts down. Everything shuts down. Maybe you have, maybe wasita, عندك wasita, maybe you can find a way. Yeah. Did I say the 3? No. You only throw Jamrat al-Aqaba. Sorry, first day you only do Jamrat al-Aqaba. Yes. So the first day, I misspoke. The first day, the only Jamra you will do is Jamrat al-Aqaba. You only do the Aqaba. Yes, the big one. Al-Aqaba is called Al-Aqaba. Also it's called Al-Kubra. Yes. They will tell you. By the way, you have guides. They know what they're doing. They will show you everything. They will tell you, now we will do this and this, and you just follow the lead. You'll just follow their leads. Okay. Then the Thalith, some of the mistakes. There will be, the first way is only you throw one of Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, only 7 of them. The next 3 Ayyam al-Tashriq is when you're going to stone the rest of them. Yes. By the way, some of the mukhalafat, let me talk about some of the mistakes that people do on that day. Some people, they pray Fajr before the time on Muzdalifah. So make sure that you pray Fajr when the time enters. Do not pray before it. This haram, your salah even will not be valid. Number 2, a lot of people, they are too lazy in Jamrat al-Aqaba. They do not throw it from the right place. So make sure that you follow the guides of your leaders. When they told you this is the place, come and throw it the place that is supposed to be thrown. And make sure that when you throw your pebbles, the stone, it goes inside the hawd, not comes back. The wall comes back, it has to go down. Some of the mistakes that people do that day, a lot of people will get really angry. They think Jamrat al-Aqaba, there is real shaitan in there. And that's ignorance. Some people, they take their shoes, some people their phones. You hear, La'natullahi alayk. Like you're angry as shaitan, you have misled me, all this, now I find you. So not shoes, no. Some people throw big rocks, some people get injured in their heads. Be careful, some people behind you may hit your head. So try to be safe when you're throwing out. Some people get emotion and throw shoes, phones. Sometimes they hit somebody in front of them. So umbrella, yeah, you could see in the Jamrah, umbrellas, shoes in there, everything is in there. But you only throw pebbles. The stones, it has to be small as my finger, until the first level of my finger. So this is the level, this is how big it should be. Something small, pebble, something that you could hold it and it will not even harm the people when you hit it. And by the way, there is no real shaitan in there. It's symbolic. It's symbolic that you driving shaitan away from your life. So do not think there is real shaitan that day. Some people when they come back, they forget that day. They're tired, they worked hard on the day before. They don't do dhikr, they don't read the Quran. They try to take it relax and go around chit chat. No, still you're in Hajj these 6 days. Stay focused, inshallah. Stay focused. The 4th day of Hajj is called Ayyam al-Tashriq. It's going to start the beginning of Tashriq. Prophet ﷺ, he said, these days are Ayyamu aklin wa shurbin wa dhikri lillah. Days of eating and drinking and remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the day that you will eat and relax and sit in Mina. The only thing is legislated you will do as a wajibat to go and do the jamarat again. Remember, make sure that you pray the salawat al-jama'ah in jama'ah with a group when you are there, and do as many takbir as you can on that day. This is the day after Eid. As many remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will go and stone the 3 jamarat ba'd al-dhuhr. After dhuhr, after zawal is encouraged. You take 11 ones of them. Remember, the day of Eid there was only al-Aqaba al-Kubra. I said it earlier, so make sure that. So first day of Ayyam al-Tashriq was the second day of Eid. You will go and stone the Mina after the zawal, when the sun passes the middle after dhuhr. So you will start with the sughra, then wusta, the middle one. Sughra is the small one, the middle one, then the kubra, which is called al-Aqaba, the bigger one of al-Aqaba. Each one you throw it 7 pebbles, and you make sure that you put it in the right way. And each pebble, when you throw it, you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. People will say it, you will remember, so it's not a big problem. There's a lot of people who throw it. Be safe and always go on a scheduled time. These are the times when people die. Alhamdulillah, now it went, the year I went to, there was no death. Last year was, 4th floor and schedule. Also schedule. Yeah. Yes, also plus schedule work. Before, what used to happen, right after the Muzdalifah to Mina, everybody would go to Jamarat, and there's only one Jamra and 3 million people in small places, and people would, in that crowd, people would die. But alhamdulillah, now there is schedule, so follow your schedule. Sometimes the schedule is before, after Dhuhr, after Asr, they will tell you, your group will tell you, the office will tell them when is your schedule. So when you, the best is to, when you do the sughra and wusta, when you stone it, make sure it's a sunnah to face the qibla and the jamra is in front of you. Then after that you will move forward and you face the qibla and make dua long. It was reported that Ibn Umar made dua, long dua, like a Surah Al-Baqarah until he started. But anyway, nobody would wait you for it. Probably they will give you 3 minutes in your group because they have to move, continue. So make dua as you can, then you move to the next one, and then wusta. So when you're making dua, you will put your jamrat al-sughra on your left and wusta on your right, athna dua, and while you're facing the qibla. So try to stand up after you finish one jamra. Don't just continuously hit the 3 jamrat. Try to pause for dua and stand up a corner and ask Allah for the khair of dunya and akhirah. Ask for general du'as, use general du'as, anything bothering you, anything in life, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jamrat al-Aqaba, the kubra one, when you hit, you face it, the jamra itself. How do you know you're facing? The Kaaba would be on your left and Mina would be on your right. Then you move forward. Then when you finish the last one, you're not going to stop for dua. The dua is when you hit the first one, pause dua. The second one, pause dua. The third one, go away. So there's no stand after that. Can somebody get me water? Go ahead. Oh, okay. Just mine. Yes, if you want to know the Qibla, it's said in there. You will see the picture of the Kaaba and you will know where is the Qibla to face to make dua, inshallah. This guy expert, man. Okay, and has a lot of questions. Next time, inshallah. Make sure you carry your sleeping bag. Your phone, all what I carried is a sleeping bag and my small bag, my phone and my stuffs in it, and a sleeping bag only. So I went to the Arafat, I wasn't carrying any bags. By the way, in Mina you can keep your stuff there. It was safe to us. I don't know to yours, you have to make sure it's safe. But once you come and then to Muzdalifah, you're only going to need to sleep in Muzdalifah. From Mecca, the day before the Hajj starts. Make sure something comfortable there. And also try to avoid the dust. There's dust everywhere. That's where you're going to get the dust in your mouth. A lot of people start getting sick from there. Yes, that's a good idea. Yes. Buy it from all or some mosques. Make sure that you wear it. I used to wear it all the time. It will protect you, especially when you're sleeping in Muzdalifah. It's dusty there, so you don't want you to inhale that. If you inhale, you will definitely be sick with the flu and cold and all of that. Oh, yeah. You will. Muzdalifah, they give us food. Yes, there's a dinner. They'll give you a dinner. And in Arafat, food everywhere. They'll give you dinner, coffee, everything. In Muzdalifah, they gave us food ready. Each one will be given to his hand, and we ate in Muzdalifah the night before we went to sleep. Yes. It's good. You don't buy from here. You don't need it. You're going to lose only one night, so you're not going to need it any other night. Only you're going to need Muzdalifah. Just buy from there, one-time use. And make sure that you clean after yourself, In Muzdalifah, after the morning, people leaves so much trash, so much sleeping bag. You say, these people, do they really come for worship and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they act this way? So make sure that you clean after yourself and at least do your part, If you look back to the people where they left the Hujjaj, so much sleeping bag, so much dirty, so much mess in there. So make sure you don't do fifth day. Let's rush because Isha time is already now. By the way, for the Jamarat, if you can't do it, you got sick. Some people got sick. If you got sick, then somebody else could go and do it on your behalf. Then you come back to Mina, you spend in Mina. The fifth day again, you stay in Mina. The only thing you will do is Jamarat again. And you will do the same process on the fifth day of Hajj. The only thing you will do is you stay in Mina. The only thing you will go out is for the Jamarat. So the fifth day after it ends, some people they hasten, they are busy, they are allowed to go to Mecca and finish their Hajj. But the sunnah the Prophet ﷺ did it is he stayed one more day in Mina. Allah says, فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. But the Prophet ﷺ made ta'akhur and he stayed one more day in Mina and did the same process. You will do the same process on that day. So the fifth day and the sixth day, all what you would do is go and throw the jamarat. Some of the mistakes that people do. Number one is that cleanness. A lot of people will not clean after themselves. They leave the trash everywhere the cup is there. They act carelessly. This is not a right way to do. Try your best to keep. Another mistake people do, they're tired. They already been 5 days in Hajj. They don't have the motive and strength. Make sure you motivate yourself and try yourself to do the best you can. In one of these days, your group will take you to do tawaf of ifadah and to do the sa'i of Hajj. However, after we finish the sixth day, they will take you back to Mecca. However, if you want, you could delay your tawaf and sa'i until you go to Mecca. But I would suggest for you to follow your group and let them do. If they said second day or in Mina we'll go to do tawaf and sa'i, go ahead and do it with them because they are there. They will guide you and help you. You could use any stone. There's no taklif. You could do that, but again, this is a tartibat, whatever. Even you can grab the stones right in Jamarat. In Jamarat in the floor. Yes, from the Jamarat you could grab it. Yeah. You know, the last thing you need to worry of when you go there is the stones. It's everywhere. Everywhere stones. Saudi Arabia, what do you think? Yeah. Yeah. Don't do taklif on yourself. Stones available. Yeah. What you could just write in Jamarat before you throw it. Just look in your floor in your feet. There is stones. Just grab it and stone it. It's not a big deal. Okay. After that, you go back to. I'm going to rush, inshallah. In a few minutes, I will end it. After that, you go back to Makkah al-Mukarramah. You go back to your hotel. Make sure that right before you leave Makkah, you do tawaf called tawaf al-wada'. A farewell sermon is one of the wajibat, and you do that right before you leave Makkah. So the sunnah is when you do the tawaf right to get out of Mecca, but sometimes due to the crowd and that you will not be able, you have to stay in your buses. In your buses, no problem. If things that holding you back is not you, then there shouldn't be a problem. They will tell you, your group will tell you will leave today. First they will take you to the Kaaba, they will tell you let's do tawaf al-wada' and you will do your tawaf al-wada', and this is the end of your Hajj, and you had completed your Hajj. Something that I want to quickly go is ziyarat, visitation of Medina. After that, they will take you to Medina. Visitation of Medina is not part of your Hajj. It's not a requirement. You go visit Medina to pray in Masjid al-Haram, in Masjid al-Nabawi, the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and they will take you to some ma'alim. In the masjid, when you pray, is sunnah to visit the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, the grave of his companions, Umar, Abu Bakr, and then go to Baqi', the companions where they were buried. Then go to Quba, Masjid Quba, the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, was built first. There are some places that they will take you to visit. Go ahead and visit. There's Masjid called Masjid al-Qiblatain, where the two Qibla, where sometimes they pray this way, sometimes they pray that way. So they will take you in there. Be careful. You'll be visiting a lot of graves. Make sure that you don't commit any act of shirk. You do not ask none of the graves. Even when you go to the Prophet ﷺ and visit his grave, you say salam to the Prophet ﷺ, you make dua for the Prophet ﷺ, for the sacrifice that he have done for the Islam and Muslims and all of that. But at the end, you're not going to pray to the Prophet ﷺ directly. Some people, they make a mistake. They say, oh Muhammad, give us that and that and that. Oh Rasulullah, we want children. Oh, those are shirk. Make sure that you don't mess up your entire Hajj. Rather make dua and salam to the Prophet ﷺ, but do not ask. Dua is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, when you're doing those, always there will be a group leader and somebody who knows what he's doing and will guide you there. So make sure that you ask the questions that you need to ask him, inshallah. We mentioned it, you were sleeping. Yeah. Oh, the group will not. Our group, they took us to a bus and did us that. Yeah. By the way, they may not do that. What you can, in Mecca even, if you want to go ziyarah in Mecca, you hire a taxi, you and your friends, 6 days you're sitting there. So your group may not take you to Ghar Hira and those. By the way, it's not part of Hajj, you have to know that. But in case if you want to see them and your group is not planning to take you there, just go to your friends, 5 of you, get a taxi, tell them we just need to see around. He knows everything. He knows more than the leaders, your group leaders. And he will take you. He's going, this is the Jabal where the Iqra revealed. This is Ghar Hira. This is this. He's going to show you all around. Even they showed us Abu Lahab's house. You can see everything. So hire him. Just put 10 riyal together and he will be able to show you. Same thing in Medina. If they don't have a plan to show you around Medina, just hire a taxi while you're in Medina. You'll stay in Medina, I think 3-4 days. Hire a taxi and the taxi will take care of it, inshallah. There is Uber right now, yeah? There are, yeah. Saudi has Uber, inshallah. You can hire Badr, inshallah. You can take him to Hajj and rent him a car. Yeah, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. الله أكبر.